and welcome to Real Voices of Happy Valley. In this episode, Dave talks to Satnam Singh, who a lot of you will know from running the post office in Hebden Bridge. But that's not all he does, by a long way. Satnam is involved in the banking hub in Todmorden. Since we lost the last of the banks in Hebden Bridge and Todmorden, the banking hub at Tod College is open 5 days a week with different banks, and it's brilliant for local traders, especially on the market, to take their cash to and bank it because they have to travel otherwise to do that. Satnam talks about his involvement as well on the wrong side of the post office scandal with the Horizon computers and his experience of that. And it turns out that the Mr. Bates of the ITV drama, Mr. Bates Takes on the Post Office, he used to work at Midgley, the post office there. And then Satnam started talking about some of the charity work he does, which has involved him going to base camp at Everest. And that was too interesting just to chop off. So there is a second podcast which talks about his adventures there and about the way he and his wife Jagdeep seem to be magnetically attracted to disasters. It's a really good listen. He's a great guy and he's entertaining and funny.
Right, so here I am in Todmorden Banking Hub with Satnam Singh.
Hello.
And this seems to be bringing some great benefit to the area because we haven't got any banks left, have we?
This whole initiative has been part funded by the banks and the government, and it's overseen by Cash Access UK, who are basically facilitating the whole thing. Mm-hmm. They work with the banks and coordinate.
When you say the banks, is that all of them?
A lot of the banks, yeah, a lot of the major banks. There are a few small ones still coming on board, and what they do is they've been kind of ordered to set up these banking hubs as a result of all the banks leaving town. So Todmorden's quite unique because they actually put in a community request where one of the councils requested it from Link and Cash Access UK that Todmorden needs a bank because the last bank closed recently, which was Halifax, I think, and nationwide. And they've basically had to respond to that, set this bank hub up. It's a temporary bank hub in its current location, but it will eventually get into a permanent home. So it's once that happens,
positive.
Yeah, that will make it part and parcel of Todmorden and the fixtures and fittings.
Do you know where that permanent home is going to be?
No,
yet?
Need to find the site. They're looking for sites. They've also asked me to kind of look out for sites and maybe talk to landlords if possible, see whether or not it's appropriate and it ticks all the boxes. There's a lot of red tape because it's government funded and there's banks involved, so they've got hoops to jump through, but thank God I don't have to worry about any of that. So all I got to do is point at a building out and say that might be a good place, give them the details, step back, let them deal with everything.
Oh, right.
And then all I do is walk in when it's all fixed and ready, and they just hand the keys over to me. So for once, there's no stress or anything involved with it, which I find is quite good.
That's unusual for a job in finance these days.
I'm very, very, very lucky, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it open every day?
Yeah. Oh, Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. Mm-hmm. I mean, we cover all the everyday cash services here at the counter, so you can pay cash in, pay checks in, take cash out, pay bills.
Regardless of what bank you're
Regardless of what banks, any day of the week, there's no requirement as to which bank you're with. And then every day of the week, on that board over there, as you can see, this little, I call it a man cave that's in here. I know it's a bit sexist, but it's just a terminology.
I presume the employee in there is a male.
So in there, well, yeah, he is today. So in today we've got Halifax. So as you can see when you open that door, the chap, and the reason why these conversational rooms are set up in here is to give privacy to people, clients and stuff, who come in and talk to them. Yes. So they got, every day of the week, it's almost like hot desking for the banks.
Yeah.
So Halifax is today, NatWest is tomorrow, Barclays will be Friday, Monday's Virgin Money, Tuesday's Lloyds.
And are you here every day?
I am, or one of my employees are here every day. Yeah, or two of us sometimes as well.
Oh, that's really good, because I mean, a lot of people despair of online banking.
Oh, of course, yeah. And we get so many people come through the door who want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Just want that human interaction, which is vital for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, both me and Viv are like that. I mean, I won't use those do-it-yourself tills in supermarkets.
No, I don't like them. I deliberately kind of go into them, and between me and you, I like to not sabotage them, but I make it so some attendant has to come running over to press a button or two.
Yeah,
it's almost like that.
I do that if there's nobody on a till. I do the same thing.
I've always
promise I'm only pretending that I don't know.
I'll try to buy some beers on it, and I know it's going to want age verification, so someone's going to come along anyway. Which is quite entertaining for me. The little things in life, innit? You know?
Well, absolutely. Well, I mean, I've done a couple of jobs that been taken over by computers.
Well, yeah. So we're in an age.
I feel for people who,
it's going to get worse, AI is going to be replacing so many people's jobs, and all these kind of AI chatbots and things are going to be just taking over all the call centre jobs, and then with that, rather than complaining about having to talk to someone from India or South Africa, we're going to be complaining talking to a computer that's not going to understand what we want.
Yes.
And we're going to be repeating ourselves 100 times before it gets a question.
You'll pray for that to Indian or South African accent.
We'll be praying for them Indian call centres to be open then.
Absolutely. So you get a lot of people in then?
So yeah, it's starting to pick up now. I mean, when I took over about 3 months ago, it was very, the awareness levels were very low. People didn't know it was
I suspect they still are.
Well, I've been going out networking quite a bit, putting out flyers pretty much in a lot of the businesses, talking to the business owners, going around the market, things like that. Because I find like the word of mouth form of advertising always is the most effective.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of people who prefer to have a dedicated banking space rather than do the banking at an ATM or in the post office, because a lot of the elderly get a bit worried if they're taking out a lot of money from the post office. They don't know who's in the queue behind them, or the ATMs more so. Taking money out of there, they don't know who's watching them or looking over the shoulder.
And you can't trust them, because sometimes you see things.
The little devices.
Be careful that there's nobody watching you. It just worries people.
Well, a lot of them. Some of these ATMs have a mirror on it, so you can look over your shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay for someone who's like kind of ourselves, but if someone's in the 70s and 80s and they have to take out £300, you know, it gets a bit worrying for them, and
absolutely. If you go into a branch,
well, any
the person will put it in an envelope for you.
And I mean, you can put it away.
It's in your bag before you leave the room.
Yeah. No, nobody waiting. No.
And so there's no banks in Tod. There's no banks anymore in Hebden Bridge, is there?
No. Well, banks are closing across the board. So in Halifax, apparently Barclays is shut down now.
Really?
Yeah. So Barclays is shutting its branches across the country rapidly. And this is a form of making them keep some of their employees, that their employees have to come out and people can talk to them.
Yeah.
So in a way, we're almost like we've tied the banks to the ankle just to make sure that they can't jump ship totally, and they've still got to keep some sort of human interaction.
Which is good. If you're working
in
a bank,
it's needed. Yeah.
If you're the bank worker, you need people to talk to.
Yeah. But not just that; it's for the customers as well, because not everybody is wanting to do telephone banking or internet banking, and we get a lot of people walking through the door who just don't really understand the whole concept of banking sometimes, and they've come in and said, "I've got this account, I need some money out, or I need to transfer it from one bank to another," and they don't want to do internet banking. I mean, the security implications around this internet banking anyway, it's not very secure anyway.
No.
I mean, we don't get told that the amount of times they get hacked and the amount of times that the banks, the online systems, go down. For it's all dependent so much on that, the minute it goes down, we're stuck.
Yeah. Which it did, was it last year or the year before?
And NatWest had a big...
it got just stopped.
Apparently, according to NatWest, it was computer outage, but from a layman's perspective, or someone who's got a little bit of kind of know-how, it was just being hacked or something like that, which I mean, you know, I don't like to say, but there are certain regions in the world who are experts at hackers, and we're picking a fight with them. So expect it. You know, almost like power outages that we saw with certain things like Heathrow and things like that. I'm a firm believer that these things are all set up, and something's happened, and usually we just get told a lie.
Well, that's the thing. Crime just changes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's evolving.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the times when you're worried that someone's going to break into your house and nick your video.
Yeah.
Or break into your car and nick the
Car
radio.
stereo,
And it's like, that doesn't happen.
That's gone now they come into your house and take your car keys.
It's all, you know, they're more likely to rob something from your phone or your computer.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of cybercrime going on now.
And at least you knew if your car radio had been stolen. You didn't know. You don't necessarily know straight away anyway if somebody's had money out your bank.
These sort of businesses, institutions in a way, is that we can sometimes spot things like that. So at the moment now there's a rise in romance crime. Crime is somewhere where somebody will go into a chat group, an elderly person, they'll meet somebody who they think that they digitally fall in love with them, and then this person starts extortioning money out, you know, using them to squeeze money out of them, really. And we sometimes used to see a lot of cases of that in the post office, where people would be coming in taking large amounts of money, or transferring it to using Western Union or MoneyGram to abroad and all sorts of things.
I know people that's happened to. And you say, hang on a minute, this bloke is stuck on an island somewhere.
Oh, I've got so many stories. I could write a book. I mean, the most elaborate one I ever got, which was an email to be on my inbox, was there was a chap who was stranded on a space station and needed some money to pay for the Russian astronauts to pick him up and bring him back.
It's imaginative, at least.
Yeah, really imaginative. I mean, I was kind of asking him. I was going to ask him to send me
on the space station.
Well, I was going to ask him to send me a postcard, so I've got some sort of picture or some sort, but didn't respond. But yeah, they do get really. I mean, we get lots of people. I used to get quite a lot in Hebden, in the sense where people would, because we originally about 7-8 years ago had a Bitcoin ATM in the post office. When it first kind of launched mainstream. And it was a device where you could have gone in and purchased Bitcoin using cash. And at that time, it was still early days when all the Federal Reserve and all the financial institutions were villainising Bitcoin and saying that this is scam, it's the devil, and it's everything that is wrong in society. And now all of a sudden, all them same banks and financial institutions are buying Bitcoin to hold in their reserves and cashing in the US bearer bonds, because US bearer bonds are so volatile, and with the inflation and all of the antics going off in America, they're very volatile and they're not a secure investment. And now these same Goldman Sachs and all these massive investment firms are now buying and stocking Bitcoin and holding it, because originally they didn't want people to invest in it, because they could see the potential. It's disassociated with any country's performance or any invasions or wars or whatever's being created by different entities. It's totally separate from it, so it's not really related to inflation. So the beauty of it all was, so originally when that used to happen, a lot of scam artists used to use that. So we used to get some people coming in and they'd have a fictitious phone call from the HMRC saying your other half or your partner or whoever owes the HMRC a lot of money in unpaid taxes, and they would stage it so much in such a convincing way. They would tell the
that's all right.
They would tell you a story that the HMRC's rang me, and then 5 minutes later a police officer's rang me saying that we're holding your husband or wife until the tax bill's paid, and if not, we're going to take them to court in the morning and charge them. So people would come in with £5,000-6,000 in cash, wanting to, and the alarm bells would ring when they would say no, they only want payment in Bitcoin. And we're going back 7 years now, 7-8 years ago, when Bitcoin wasn't being recognised by the HMRC or anyone. At that time, it was still being used by like the dark web and places like that. People utilising it because it was, and we would have to step in and intervene. Many times I'd saved people a lot of money, having to say, look, and they would come in with the phone to the ear, pretending to be speaking to someone from HMRC. So I'd convince them to put the phone down and tell them, try to make them understand it's a scam. And some people were so kind of drawn in by it, they wouldn't want to believe me. So I had to sometimes ring up the police and tell the police, look, we've got somebody as a victim of a fraud, a scam, but they don't want to believe it. And then I have to kind of marry the two up and step back and then let them deal with it themselves. But this is how convincing scams and elaborate scams are going. But yeah, I mean, back to the banking hub, it's vital for communities as this place.
Absolutely. And you still running the post office?
Yep, still there. Yeah. I mean, the staff's doing a great job. I kind of go in every day or every other day to kind of keep in with it. But I think this is my challenge for this year, was get this up and running, make sure it's a permanent fixture and fitting of Todmorden. The only reason I'm quite passionate about it is because it's, like I says, the community needs it really. There's many members in the community who prefer to come in here rather than going to a public place for cash.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So with all that post office scandal carry on, were you in any way affected by that?
Oh yes, I was affected, yeah. I got affected. I've been in the post office 16 years now. When I first took over, it was when the dodgy horizon system, I can call it dodgy now because it's proven to be dodgy. Yeah. Prior to that, it was people saying, no, it's a robust system, it's foolproof and everything.
Well, they carried on saying that all the way through.
They're still saying it. If you talk to certain people in there, they still think it's robust and everything like that. It is bust, but it's not raw. But yeah, we're still operating under the same system. There are many times now when you do still get anomalies and losses in there, but now the post office have hold their hands up and says every time you have losses, we will investigate and make good. We won't charge you for it. But yeah, I lost a lot of money over the years. I put a claim in 2020, I think, my first claim I put in. 2020, probably around about November, December. Yeah. So beginning of 2021, and I'm still waiting for money. I've had every excuse. I've had the silliest offers thrown at me. Yeah. Well, it's gone all the way up to the top. Yeah. They just managed to safeguard themselves. The government was aware of it at the time. Yeah. There's documents leaked out where Fujitsu had installed the system and sent memos out, told top government bodies, Tony Blair, and all of them knew about it. Yeah. They knew that this system had flaws in it, and there was, accessibility, backdoor accessibility by Fujitsu, and they were actually going in and manipulating transactions. Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
nobody wants to do anything until somebody made a TV drama about it.
Alan Bates, ironically, used to run Midgley Post Office.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yes, for Midgley. Hebden.
Another local person doing good.
Yeah, well, I mean, he moved up to Llandudno, I think it was, after he got rid of... I think they closed the Midgley. It was the cooperative, the Midgley cooperative.
That's right, yeah.
And, I think it was there where he'd left from. Yeah. And gone up to Llandudno.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it took something like that, but it wasn't just him, there was the 555 people who'd done a group litigation against the post office and won it. But then after the solicitors and the lawyers had taken all their cuts, they ended up with about £5,000-6,000 each. Which, I think, anyway...
the solicitors are the last ones to lose anything.
No, they're the winners every time. Yeah. They're happy to do a case, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, overall, if they hadn't have done that, I don't think any of us would be in this position now. Yeah. It still would have get swept into them.
I mean, it was a great I was going to say documentary drama. I mean, the funniest thing about it is, and I think it was the bloke who's running a post office in Bridlington or Scarborough. Yeah. He said, I like the programme, but they shouldn't have had me played by a lad from Lancashire. Fair enough. Yeah.
But no, I've met a few other people who were in the drama and stuff, who were actually the actual post office masters. I had a close friend from Huddersfield who'd gone through a right ordeal from the post office. I mean, he'd eventually gone to prison for, I think a couple of months over everything. He'd lost his wife, his home, everything pretty much. They'd basically destroyed his life, so to speak. And his family were almost rendered homeless as a result. Yeah, so
And
whenever
people's
I
kids
see...
affected.
Oh, of course, well, the fact that the next generation will be affected going forward as well, because even though we all know kids are ruthless when it comes to, speaking out about other children, and if someone thinks your parents have been involved in a scandal or a scam or something, the kids will be the first ones to tell you to your face, and they'll nickname you with it as well and all the rest of it. So I think kids are affected more, if anything, because they have to go out there in society and face the wrath and, so the scandal is still ongoing for me. Still waiting for some sort of closure.
Well, good luck with that.
People are they've put together schemes just to kind of usher people through, but I still don't think it's fair what they've set up, because individually, I mean, there were days when I was sitting there till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, sitting in the post office with just the lights on in the back, so all the main lights weren't on. And I could hear people going into trade stuff for a night out. I'm sat there thinking, God, this is my night out here.
Right.
But yeah, it was tough at the time. I mean, I can look back and laugh at it now, kind of got over the worst.
But you've still found time to do various charitable things, haven't you?
Yeah,
Involved with Calder Food Hub.
Charity has been something that's kind of instilled into our culture. So being a Sikh, part of our culture has always been be charitable, always give, never see someone go without. And technically we're supposed to donate about 1/10 of our earnings to charitable causes on an annual basis. That's the truth, the devout Sikhs way.
This is what I've heard about the Sikh,
so
whether it's religion or culture.
Cultural, religious, I mean, it's almost like principles that have been, we have a lot of various principles, like seva, reverts to food, so whenever there's the opportunity to feed people, you feed them. It kind of ties in with a lot of the different charity things I do. I've supported so many different charities over the years. It's hospices, MS Trust, MS Society. My little brother suffers with MS. He's had it for about 15 years now, 20 years. He's bedridden now, so it's kind of like something that's close to my heart. So it's a horrible disease. It's just slowly deteriorating. I mean, he's a couple of years younger than me, but kids are old now, but they've had to grow up alongside it all. So that's something I tend to support, an MS kind of cause every couple of years.
But it's also a bit of younger brother, so it's the wrong order. I mean, obviously you don't want that to happen to an older brother, but older people are supposed to get sort of ill and weak before you.
2 years between us, and we grew up really closely. We went to the same university, so year after I went to university, he turned up. So you tend to look after him in a way, but then when something like this happens and you're rendered helpless, and that's the most frustrating part of it. And then you've got to just channel the energy somewhere.
But you've done practical things as well. I've seen. I was going to say walk to the bottom of Everest, but that's quite high up.
Everest Base Camp trek was last September. That was my last. I try to challenge myself every year. So at the beginning of the year, I'll wake up and think.
And that's where we leave that episode of Dave talking to Satnam at the banking hub in Tod. The next episode will be about his adventures going to Everest.